Welcome to the Socialize forecast, January 21st. What a weekend we had. Oh my goodness. I'm not even sure where to begin. I'm almost speechless at the same time as having a lot to say. So I want to just first start with Saturday night when the TikTok lights went out. I will tell you a couple of things. If you happen to have been on my live that night, I went live at 8:25, I think, because I said I had gotten an email from someone that told me it was going to go dark at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I said, I want to be on my live when it goes off. So I got on the live, and then that same person came into my live to tell me that, they moved back the time to 10 o'clock. So I'm like, 10 o'clock? Oh my God, I don't want to stay online till 10 o'clock. But I did. I stayed on the live till 10 o'clock, and then the lights didn't go out at 10 o'clock. And I was on with now at this point a group of people, and I don't usually do group lives. I often find them as distracting, and then I can't really concentrate on the comments. And the whole reason I go live is to connect with the community. And so when I have a few people in there, I'm just really talking to them, and it becomes other people just listening to our conversation. So two different types of lives, and I don't usually do those group lives, but it turned into a dance party. It was like a little bit of a throwback to the women's only dance parties I used to have at my house in the suburbs. I had some throwback music on. I said that I was DJing a Durbo party that night. And Durbo means D-U-R-B-O, dance your butt off. So now you know. Anyway, I had that going, and then once it didn't go off at 10, I'm like, well, I'm not going to stay on again now another 2 hours till midnight. And I also didn't want to be on where it would start to get emotional, because I don't like that. I don't want it to be, because I know the thing is, even in my soul of souls, when I knew, that they are going to go dark tonight, like it's going to happen, I didn't think it was going to be for long. So I also don't like when it's like this dramatic, making a dramatic goodbye video and having all this like emotional, I just don't like it. I don't like to feel, maybe I just don't like to be sad about things. So I don't like goodbyes, So to that point, I didn't really want to stay on till the bitter end. So I signed off, and shortly thereafter, the app went dark. But when it did go dark, my gut feeling was immediately that I had to connect with my people. And it was really interesting to see what happened to me, because I took that matter into more real life. I decided to immediately make a post to my studio members, because I felt like they were my core community now that I'm talking to every day. And also my email list and my subscribers on my podcast. And I was like, these are the people I want to be able to be here for. So the first thing I did really was write a feed post and say to everyone, nobody panic. The lights went out. It's probably temporary. We're going to be okay. We're all going to work together. It's going to be fine. And I did kind of go down that path. And then I decided to make people feel calm about the lack of CapCut, because a lot of creators that I'm working with now are making content for user generated content, for brand content, and they're on Instagram. So they still need to make videos, and they were using CapCut, which now went dark. So I decided to take my energies, instead of spinning into a spiral of a bummer, I decided to take those energies and spend time making a tutorial that's going to be useful for people during this period. And that's where I decided to channel my energy. But so I wrote the post out to the studio folks, so they knew that I was going to be covering their back, and they'd have a tutorial soon, and that I'd be sharing other ways to edit, and that we're going to be talking about plans to diversify moving forward and all of that. So I felt like I was keeping to my purpose, and that felt good. I also decided, now maybe I'll have a day where I'm not going to be looking at TikTok that often or worried about my TikTok comments. And even though I just do still post on Instagram and YouTube, I was like, I'll take like kind of a down day. And that morning I did a little self-care, had a little sauna, I did a little DIY facial, had some exercise and all that. And that felt kind of good to just step back and then strategize and be peaceful and mindful about what I was going to do next. I was also quite thankful that I didn't make a dramatic goodbye video when the app turned back on, because then a lot of people were poking fun at people who did that. I mean, not that was a bad thing, because it was kind of nice to see people's emotional videos towards the end there. But I didn't want to partake in that, because it would have been really rough for me. I had people, helping me during cancer here, so on my platform. So that would have just taken a whole different turn for me, and I didn't really want it to go there. So that is how I let it play out. And then, of course, it did come back on much quicker. And now there's all these theories about why it was off for 12 hours. I'm not even going to get into it. Again, what am I going to stress about? I cannot change it. I don't have the power to change it in my own hands. So I am not going to let it take me down. And I'm still going to force myself to think, okay, what can I do to maximize this situation? So I want to tell you a couple of interesting things that I found interesting from this. Number one, not in this priority order, but number one, it was kind of interesting to see how I felt like, oh, okay, we're going to have a break from that. How am I going to spend my energy? So it was kind of interesting to see. It was almost like COVID again. Like, okay, there's no work. How am I going to spend my energies now? Because I don't have production things to do. So it was the same kind of reset for a second. Also, my son was interesting my oldest son, when I messaged him, and he messaged me and he said, oh, how you doing with the TikTok ban? And then I said, oh God, it's really a bummer or whatever. And he said, you're going to make it great. And I was like, okay, like that was an interesting response. Right? The other thing I liked that happened is that I immediately knew that I wanted to connect with the people that I'd met through that platform, meaning the studio people who are now working with me, friends I have made that I have connected with off the app, on WhatsApp and whatnot around the world. And so that was kind of cool to still be in touch with them, and that they had my back, and that they were watching the accounts for me and helping me to say, oh, listen, your account's still there. Don't worry. They didn't take down the American account. So it was nice to be in touch with people that were supportive. And I did want to get immediately on and put out an email to the email list and a podcast. But instead of jumping on that immediately, because I do feel like this is where I can just talk more freely than making a video that's just going to run on and on and on, where I feel here that I'm thoughtful, but yet I can speak freely. I can't explain the difference. But anyway, I wanted to get on and make a podcast, but I really also wanted to wait and see where the dust settled a little bit, because a lot of times people make these videos immediately and they spin in this direction, and then they have to take a left turn and spin in that direction, and then they're reporting this, and then they're reporting that. That's exhausting. I mean, it happens to me too. I was like, oh my God, CapCut doesn't work. Got to teach another editing app, which I'm glad I did, because a lot of people, CapCut isn't working. But then find out, oh, if you go to airplane mode, your CapCut might work. So then I spent all that time teaching VideoLeap, and I'm thinking, did I waste my time? Probably not, because I think there were people who might want to understand how other editing apps work. So I felt like I still wanted to be productive. And the good part was I didn't feel beaten. I felt like challenged. So there's a difference. I didn't feel like, wah, wah, wah. I felt like, okay, what are we doing now? Like I just took it. I don't know if that's just the nature of who I am. I don't really know why that happens. But I immediately was like, a producer, like not fix it, because I know I was going to fix what was broken, but like pivot, or let's figure out how to make that work. That's really more where my head goes. It always is, and not in a solve someone's problem way, but in a solve the situation, because I'm going to go in a different direction. So I don't know if there's a difference there, but anyway, that's where I went. And what I'm going to do now for my studio folks especially is start paying attention to other social media apps on a more equal level, because we're not sure what's happening with this. So with TikTok, I mean. So instead of being complacent, I'm going to think about how I'm going to change slightly moving forward. And I don't mean dramatically. I don't do anything like, well, okay, now go this way. I always work it and just figure it out. Like, well, I'm still going to do this, but I'm also going to be paying attention to this now. And that's what I'm going to do. And in the studio, we're going to be challenging. I do mini challenges every week, and I'm going to be challenging people. This week, we're going to focus on this app, and everybody's going to post a couple of times if they're interested. And we're going to do a little mini challenge where we're going to post to BlueSky this week every day and just see if anything interesting happens over there. And now this week, we're going to really pay attention to YouTube, and we're going to have a lesson about YouTube. We're going to learn some of the tricks of the trade of posting YouTube, how to make a YouTube account if you don't know. So that's what I'm going to do in the studio. I'm really going to try because it helps me. If I'm helping other people do it, then I will stick to it as well. So that is my plan. And we'll see how that all pans out. And I'm still going to go. Of course, I'm going to be posting on my TikTok. I love it. It's like my little home, my happy place. And I will continue to enjoy every single minute of it until it's just not fun anymore. And that is my plan. So are you with me? As I said last week, fist bump. Let's do something fun. All right, now let's go through some of the trends, and I'm going to briefly run through them because, again, I think a lot of people are just, who knows if trends are really hitting that hard right now, because it's all, the feed this week is going to be, the next couple of days for sure, is going to be inauguration stuff. It's going to be the TikTok ban stuff. So I think a lot of these TikTok trends, you might want to focus on that topic, meaning the TikTok ban or coming back from the ban, or I don't know, putting out, it's always a hit or miss thing when something is very, very trending in the news to then all of a sudden be posting your regular content, and it's likely not going to hit. So, always be mindful about the topical things that are being in your feed, and know that, it may not do well this week. So don't stress about it. So the first one is very related to the TikTok ban. So it's the your phone's ringing like crazy sound effect. And then you could say, you could show off a humorous reason why people were contacting you, maybe during the ban, who knows? So that could be a fun one. And you can also use that for other things. Obviously, you can do like, one of my this would be funny too. When one of my videos went viral, but I couldn't access my account for 12 hours, because I'm sure there's people's videos that were going viral while they were offline. That could be a funny one. Or you could be like, when sales were going through the roof, but my TikTok went dark, so I didn't know who was ordering. You could be something funny like that. It doesn't even have to necessarily be true. It just could be like a humorous imaginary story. The other one is the Shania Twain, "That Don't Impress Me Much." And that one is just like explaining why something that happens in your life doesn't really impress you. Like people think, this is the one person did here, some guy mansplaining sports to me, and it's like, she's not impressed. She doesn't care. So that was a funny one. Okay, then on Instagram, a lot of people using that "Here I Am Once Again," that torn into pieces, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And that one is coming back to Instagram when the TikTok ban happened. Like, I'm back to Instagram. That's funny. But you can actually use that to say, you can use that for other things. Like, "Here I am once again because I ran over to TikTok to see what was happening," or however you want to present that on Instagram, whatever it is, whatever reason you came back to Instagram maybe, or that you're going to post more consistently because now you realize that TikTok's like iffy. It could be a lot of different ways you could do that. If you are a TikToker posting on Instagram, that could be a fun one. If you're not a TikToker posting on Instagram and you're just posting on Instagram, you could just be like, when everyone else is going away and panicking about a ban, and I'm like, "Here I am once again because I've been here the whole time." So you can also use it in that direction. Then there's the bing bok boom audio, which is a lot of fun. I just love the sound of it. It's like bing bok boom. And you can make a quick cut edited video showing off something on your weekend. You can do something, whatever, anything with that. Like, I'm looking right now at a snowy bay, and it's like I'm thinking about dropping things on this icy bay that I could be like, I'm slip sliding around in the snow. Like, there's a lot of things you can do with this audio. So have fun with that. All right, I've already talked about what's happening this week in the studio, but I didn't tell you this. I am working on a transition that everyone's going to learn, where the clothing, last week we did the clothing flying on. This week we're doing throwing your shirt, and you're like ripping your shirt and then a new outfit appears. So that's what we're focused on this week. Can't wait to see those videos. And I love making a montage or featuring the successful videos on my stories. So we will be seeing some of that this week. You can know that in advance. And then, like I said, we're going to be working on some YouTube details and some vlogging details. That's going to be the subjects for this week. And we have a live meeting, as always. We always do our live meetings once a week. So I think this week it's on Thursday. And I'll see you there. I like when sometimes I laugh because I change the times. So it's 1 o'clock, it's 3 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock. I try to mix it up. I don't like to do them early in the morning. First, because I'm not a morning person. But more importantly, I have a lot of California studio members. So that's really early in the morning for them. If I decide I'm going to do it 10 a.m., that's like people have to get up at 7 a.m. That's not nice. Number one, I don't like to get up at 7 a.m. So no. Secondly, I'd rather not even do it at 10 a.m. myself, because I like to get up, get rolling, and do my own things before I get into my work things. That's number two. But number three, and maybe it's the first priority one, is that I have some Australia studio members, Australians. And for them, 1 o'clock is like middle of the night. And this poor woman, Julie Unruly, I love you. She gets up at like 3 and 4 in the morning when I have these meetings. And I'm like, no, girl, I can't do that to you. So I'm sorry if the 5 o'clock sessions are not always good for my European people. But that's not too late in Europe compared to somebody having to get up at 4 a.m. for the meeting. So I have to be nice to everyone, and I try and just mix up the times. We do have fun in there, by the way. I even said after my live dance party that each time on my Zoom meetings, I'm going to, after the Zoom meeting ends, I'm going to play like my favorite throwback song at the end before we end because it was fun. All right, let's talk about the original content ideas for this week because these are funny. One of them is to post what you did while TikTok was down, because I did that. I decided, first I was just doing the things and I went, oh darn, I should have documented this to make a vlog of what I did when TikTok went dark. So I did reenact myself getting out of bed, scrolling and seeing TikTok was closed and throwing my phone and then getting up and then doing a facial, doing exercise. I had my weights and a facial. So I tried to reenact it a little bit. I mean, I had the idea when I was already into the facial mask. And then I was like, oh shoot, I should have shot myself exercising. I should have shot myself getting out of bed. So I went back and I did those things. And then it came on so fast, I didn't even get a chance to post the vlog. So I decided to just post the 3 photos of what I did in the morning. So it was funny, but you can do it with a photo carousel and just some words and topics of what you did and it could be funny, like laid in bed and stared at the ceiling because I didn't want to scroll. I couldn't scroll on my phone. I mean, there's so many things you can do with that you can reenact after the fact. That could be funny. Okay. You could also have one of yourself like running to Instagram and opening the door like, hello, hello, I'm back. Anyway, the other one is, the next content idea is really very related to what we're doing in the studio, which is try posting on a different format, on a different social media platform. Anyway, that would just be a fun way to just say, if you usually post videos, try making a static post or a text-based post. If you usually post photos, try posting a video. Experiment and maybe just post on a different platform while you're experimenting. We're going to be inspired to do that in the studio, and we're going to be pushed to do that in the studio, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And then the third idea, are you ready for this? Get off social media. No. Yes. Take a break from social media, make some plans to get off social media and see people in real life, but then share those events on social media. It's a full circle. Even when I'm in real life, I'm documenting so that I can share. And I just think that's what's my joy of social media is, that I am having fun in real life and I am with those people and doing and enjoying the times and when I'm at parties, but then I like to document it. I like to share the joy that I'm having. So I don't know. And maybe one might say you're not in the moment. And I feel the opposite. I feel like I'm so channeled into the moment that I'm seeing it through a memory lens. Like I'm so aware that I'm building a memory when I'm having a good time. There's something in this. I have to make a video about this. But I'm acutely aware of it. And so therefore I tend to pick up my phone and document it. So much to the point that when my son and my daughter-in-law told us they were having a baby and I heard the news, I was like, I am not recording. Oh my God. I literally picked up my phone and started filming because I was experiencing it and I knew that I'd want to savor this memory. And my way of savoring the moments I'm in is documenting them so that I can look back on them. So call me crazy, and you can say, that means you're not in the moment. To that I say, BS. I'm so in the moment that I'm acutely aware that I'm going to want to look back at this moment because it's so special right at this moment. So that's an argument that I'm going to stand on in court if I ever have to. When people are like, you weren't in the moment, I'll be like, no. I was deeper in the moment than you were because I was thinking about the fact that I'd want to look back on it. Oh, Lord, somebody come and save me. Okay, we know I'm crazy. Onward we go into the featured tutorial. As I said earlier, I immediately decided that the tutorial I needed to do was an editing tutorial about a new editing app because CapCut suddenly went dark with TikTok. So frustrating because all of my tutorials are like, here's how to do it. We're going to use CapCut. Oh my God. And it's such a good edit app. But I did dive in and decided to put my claws in and figure out which one I liked. And I did InShot for a little bit. I tested it out and I was like, it's not as intuitive. It's not as, I wanted to find something somewhat similar in the way the timeline shows up and where the features show up. And VideoLeap is pretty close. There's another one called Maetu. I might demonstrate that one next. Others are asking me to demonstrate InShot, so maybe I'll demonstrate that one. But I'm going to focus on really what I do best, which is I am an editor by nature. I look at my life through a lens, and I am editing my life somewhat when I share it. So I'm picking out those highlight moments. And yeah, so that's who I am. So I'm going to keep doing it. And so because I have that skill, I'm going to continue to teach you how to do these editing things. So yay to that. Good times that we have to look forward to is lots of editing lessons, and you are going to get better and better at it if you stick with me. That is for sure. I was just recently booked to teach a corporate group of people, trainers, how to make training videos in a company. And I'm going to be doing that in early February. And then in February, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I remembered to mention this. I'm going to be in Tampa on February 5th. So if you happen to live in the Tampa area and would like to meet up, I'm doing a meetup. I'm going to be doing it at the Westin Waterside, I think it's called. Oh my God, I can't remember the name of the place, but I will put it in the newsletter when I find it. And that's where I'm going to be creating a meetup there for anybody that's in that area and wants to do a quick like socialize, like as in socialize in real life. Meet, talk about social media, talk about life, whatever. And that is going to be the plan on February 5th, because I'm finally going to start using the time when I'm traveling for work to say, oh, I'm in this area. Let me see if I can meet the people that have been following me on social media and make myself available to connect with people in real life, because I've realized the value of my community over there on TikTok and on Instagram and on my social channels and here on my podcast and my newsletter. I want to know you. Call me crazy, but I do. So if you want to meet me in Tampa, just either reply to the newsletter today and let me know, and I will keep you informed of the time. I already am going to include the place, some Westin, and it's on the marina. Okay, that's what I know right off the top of my head. Alrighty. What else do I have to say for today? Let me look through the newsletter. Oh, we have music options, blah, blah, blah. And yes, I am going to be in Jamaica on May 1st to the 4th, Montego Bay, at a women's entrepreneur retreat. Please, if you have any desire to go to Jamaica, this would be a great opportunity. And you know what's cool about it? You don't even have to go with someone. Like you could say, oh, I don't really like traveling alone. This is the perfect time because you will be with a group of people when you get there. It's like, all you have to do alone is get on a plane. Once you get there, you're going to be in a group. We're going to hang out. We're going to have some fun. We're going to do workshops. We're going to do social media trainings. You're going to you'll even have hair and makeup experts and fitness experts and business coaches. And there's somebody there that's going to do headshots and take your photos and give you business plans and all this stuff. So if you are an entrepreneur looking for some support, it's just going to be a fun one. And you don't really need to have anybody with you. You can literally do this and socialize, have some fun in the sun, as well as business coaching tips and networking, and you'll get swag and gifts and social media tips and all the things. So maybe I'll see you in Jamaica. And last but not least, we have the music suggestions for today, which are really fun. Oh my God, I love that Julie put Mamma Mia in there because she's bringing it back for me. But Mamma Mia started to show up on my For You page, so I picked it when I did my montage video. So if you like it, go with a little ABBA. Let's go. And there's lots of other options. All right. As always, thank you for being here. If you have questions about anything as you're navigating this new TikTok algorithm or this new plan to diversify, I am here for you. And the studio is even more here for you because that's where I'm in touch every single day if you want me to be. You could also turn it off. You don't have to listen to me every single day. Oh dear. I don't want to scare people. All right. Have a great week. And I will see you on Friday. Thank you as always for listening. We got through one dramatic weekend and I'm sure there's more to come. So hang in, and I'll see you soon.